Hello everyone, today we're going to be installing an aftermarket single DIN Kenwood radio in our Mazda RX-7 FD. We're going to be doing a step-by-step instructional video. We're going to show you how to remove the radio and install the radio. And luckily, we bought our parts from Crutchfield and we had a pre-made harness done, so we should make the job a lot quicker. So you're going to be in one of three situations. You're either going to have the OEM radio, where you're going to need a set of these. These are the OEM little tools that you put in the radio and then you pull it out. Crutchfield offers them and then you're able to install your radio. Sounds pretty easy, right? Well, if you're in situation 2 and you could take off the outer bezel of your aftermarket radio, you could kind of do the same thing with the tools that they usually provide you with aftermarket radios. You kind of put them in there with the little case holder and then you pull out the radio. But if you're in situation 3, like I am, and this is an older Alpine radio, and the way that they set it up, you essentially have to take out the little box area of it. You have to get to it. I'm gonna have to remove some trim pieces so I can get access around it. And that's what we're gonna be doing in this video. Okay, we're gonna start off by removing the shift knob, and what you do is just turn it counterclockwise. The next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and remove our ashtray. I'm gonna pull back and just pull up. Go ahead and pry this panel up. There you go. And then there's gonna be some wires here, so we don't wanna pull up too much. And we're gonna go ahead and just take these off. This is a little bulb right here. Turn counterclockwise and it'll pull out. And then these little cables right here, the yellow one, we're gonna push it, depress, and pull. And at that point in time, we have it out. Okay, I'm gonna remove these 2 screws right here that are holding the center console. And in order for us to even access all of this, it is a really stupid sequence. You have to start removing gauge clusters, panels, all this kind of crazy stuff. And I wasn't gonna do that. So what I managed to do was these 2 screws on this side over here, I managed to pretty much manhandle a screwdriver and take these 2 screws out and then pull this out. It did not feel good. Stuff was creaking. I felt like stuff was breaking. This is really poorly designed to get these 2 screws off and get to this point. We're gonna start disconnecting things and getting this OEM radio out of here. Now, I've installed at least 100 radios and I've never ever have seen something like this before, where I feel like it was almost intentionally designed to be difficult. I'm just gonna disconnect the harness in the back so it's not pulling on it. We're going to disconnect that and we're going to go from there. We'll see. So what we're going to do is, before we patch up everything, I'm going to take off this little part right here because we have an Alpine one. I mean, we have a Kenwood radio and this is an Alpine setup. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find a way how to pretty much get this thing out so we can start setting up our Kenwood one. And now we're going to be using our Crutchfield pre-made harness, and we're going to be connecting our OEM harness to it. And it should just click like that. And we've got our other one. Let's go ahead and nice little click. But the Crutchfield harness came with this, and inside the FD, there's not a place for this. As a matter of fact, the ground is this little connector here, and I noticed it because the other aftermarket radio was connected to it. So what I did is I utilized the splice and I used the connector off the original one, and I'm making the connection. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to add some electrical tape on these just to make sure that they don't come loose, you know, with some vibration or anything like that. And now we're pretty much ready to test the radio before we put everything inside, because we want to make sure it works. Okay, we're going to go ahead and put our key in. We have power, and I really like the design of these new Kenwood radios. They look pretty cool. They have kind of like a retro 80s vibe in my opinion. All right, I just want to hear that we got static in all sides of the radio. Let's see. And we do. All right. And then now I'm just gonna start fishing things through. The main thing is you don't just want to slam something back. You just kind of want to be really gentle, because once you lock this radio in back here, it's kind of it, you know, because it's gonna snap in. I'm leaving this plastic in, and I'm slowly gonna push back on it like that. Boom. All right, guys, we are installed and we are connected to Bluetooth. And check this out. And it sounds good. I mean, the speakers work, Bluetooth works, and we're in business. Definitely a big improvement for what we had. All right, guys, so we have the radio installed. It looks good, it sounds good, but let me talk again about that center console piece with the AC control unit. In order for you to remove that, you have to get the 2 screws that are to the left of it. And in order for you to get to those screws, you have to remove a bunch of other stuff. I kind of hacked it and bypassed it, and let me tell you, things were crunching. I think one of the clips broke off. It wasn't the right way to do it, but I made it happen. Now, I think the correct way is you have to remove pretty much the bottom trim piece underneath the driver's area, and then the side piece, and then the center console piece, to get everything off so you could literally get to those 2 screws. We even read that sometimes you have to remove the steering wheel and the airbag just to get to the area. We don't want to mess with that, because one thing here in driver's therapy is we don't mess with airbag units. We don't recommend anyone doing that. And so if we just needed to get to 2 screws, I simply just wedged my screwdriver in there and got him off. And then I reassembled everything, and pretty much I think it was 1 little broken tab that we got. But this was really unnecessary, whoever designed it, because you didn't have to put 2 screws in an area that you have to remove a bunch of stuff just to get to those screws. Either way, if you know a better way, put it in the comment section. But we got our radio installed. It was definitely not easy, and now I know why there hasn't been a video how to do step by step the removal part ever since the FD has been out. Now, using those 2 little tools to take out the OEM radio, I could only imagine that that would be like the most easiest, best way. So if you have the OEM radio, you're in for the gravy train, because all you have to do is remove the OEM radio, set up your aftermarket one, and you're done. But if you have an aftermarket radio like I did, you're gonna have to do a lot more work. Well, I hope you found this helpful. Thank you very much for watching. You take care, stay safe, and we'll talk to you soon.